Hi, YouTube. I gotta name that tune for you. Wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. You know, Third Eye Blind, Jumper. I love that song. Anyway, I just had that. I had a video I watched of somebody that is a Kabbalist, and I know more than he does. I can't help it. I'm just saying it like it is, and I'm concerned for him. So, like, I wish he would step back from the ledge because, like, Satan's ready to push his ass, you know. If you hear a female entity talking to you in your mind, in the astral plane, you're in trouble. And you know who Satan is, but if you hear a female voice, that's you better be concerned because this is how I know, this is how God taught me, and this is what I've read and what I know. Um, that's there's a locust campus in your mind. I think it's called the locust campus. I'll have to look it up. It's the locust something. That's where the locusts sting you in your mind. And that's how they do it, of course, through your third eye, your pineal gland. We all know that. But that is meant to be a connection just to God. So if you're hearing something else in there, I mean, human beings really, um, we're like that. Yes, we can think deep inside our minds, but the astral plane and what we're doing right here really shouldn't be a merged thing. That's just my opinion. From what God has taught me, it's meant as a communication between Him and you and nobody else. Not no angels, not no entities, nobody except for the Father and the Son. There is one. You feel Him as one and hear Him. So if you're hearing anything else, you would feel schizophrenic and you would be in trouble. So you got to be careful who you're talking in your mind, because of course, if you want it, I'll just put it blunt to you. God is in another place, and it's a physical place, and He does live in our hearts and in our minds. And that is the astral plane. But in all reality, it is your mind. You do not leave. Even your soul is protected by God on that level unless you willingly give it to Satan. So, and that is the part that's going to be diminished in the bad bloodline. Their lack of communication skills like that is really bad anyway, and it's going to be worse. They give it all to Satan. They really do. They don't know what they're doing. They really know not what they do. Literally. They're eating of themselves. When they think they're sacrificing somebody or something, they're actually taking it from themselves, right out of their souls. So when we do something bad to somebody, that's coming right off us, you know? That's a fact. And if you've ever done anything cruddy and then you have something cruddy happen to you, you think, was that because I did that? Or makes you think, doesn't it? Would God react that quick? Would He hurt you? Hell no. But He lets Satan do that because we have a decision to make. This earth, and it is a earth, is decision making time, you know? So, what do you want your capabilities to be limited or none at all or cease to exist, or have it all? Your hearts and minds' desires to literally create. That's what we're being trained for. No, we can't, but yes, we can. Yes, we can. So, yeah. Um, I'm just telling you about real life things. I'm not uh that's real life. you know. I did learn the hard way, a really hard way. So, yeah, I don't want to see anybody else have to if I did something stupid, I hope I can tell you I did it stupid so you won't. you know. So, yes, Andrea, when I was a little girl, I said grace. I thought thank you after, or I would say it before. I was the only one in my house that did, but it didn't. It seemed like after is where, but I think that was just Satan. You're young and he can say, oh, blah, 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 you know, without speaking, So, and then after, when somebody hands you something, it's like, thank you, you know. So, like a cigarette, you'd thank me before you smoked it, or maybe not. Then I would never give you another one. No. Hi, lady. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hi, everybody again. So, yeah, I'm weird like that. Bet you are too. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope everybody's gonna start to not torture themselves anymore. It's just like, man, I know. I mean, literally two Jesuits, 33rd degree Mason, 3 time over past master, grand master, and the second one up trained me. And the one was a Jesuit, and he just happened to be my dad. So, um, when I say I know what's up, it's not just from reading books, although they did set me down and teach me so many things about maps and science, and that's why I am like I am, you know. And yeah, you can read books, but I'll tell you what, being raised in that life is a whole lot different than reading about it. So I'm trying to reach out to people and say, hey, you really need to kind of kick back off out of the astral plane and shut those entities the hell up and get in touch with God in your mind and in your mind's eye. If there's anything else there, you're in trouble. So, yeah. And I'm wearing a jumper, so I might as well call my video jumper. you know. So, yump and Yemeni. I was thinking about how Igor Korsov Korsovic talks very very like very much like a Wesley Webbit. you know. So anyway, he always reminds me of Bugs Bunny. So I used to watch them quite often, but I do know a lot what they're doing is with satellites and technology, and hiding what the real is anyway is still there. Nothing has changed. So because I read about all the technology and literally a Star Trek, literally um, things that go around, or whatever they want them to do. So, yeah, there's a lot more going on for many hundreds of years than people would even say. And that's the truth, too. Now, there's some stuff that I have read that some people actually haven't. There's some people that I know they've seen it, but they're only putting out bits and pieces to leave the whole situation really vague, because if you tell everybody everything, you lose control. So if they're trying to make money on here or whatever they're trying to do, they keep that little bit. And I'm going to say, I think you heard me. So, and I am one anyway, so I don't really care. That word means nothing to me. So, I'm happy to be a bastardette. Then I don't really have to claim anybody. Being an orphan was cool. Finding my birth parents later in life was the best thing for me because nobody can really deal with me up front anyway. That's a hard thing to do. God can. That's about it. Other people have problems. You might see I don't have a lot of subs, but the ones I do have, they're golden. I know everybody wants something, but I also know what God wants and He wins because He's just smart like that. He's good, you know? He wants the best for everybody, of course. So, yeah, there's some good people out there trying real hard, and there's other ones that could do a lot better, and I'm worried about them. And it is really true. People that I've even gotten mad at, I still worry about them. Except the people that are actually killing people, the monsters. I'm not worried about it. I'm just waiting for the day that I can help end that. And this does help. I know it helps, even if there's a couple people that say, oh, yeah, that's right. I have heard the voice of a succubus, you know, or a woman, oh, yeah, that's right. That was trying to get in my marriage. Well, and you can hear both sides, especially in a marriage. And nobody has the right to interfere in a human being's mind or life. This is the issues, you know. So, and that's not godlike. Anybody can do that. It's dirty pool because even God doesn't invade your space. You know, you actually have to ask before He talks. You might have noticed, you know. And then within yourself, it's quiet. You don't hear no voices. It comes through your blood, comes through your mind and your soul. It's a soul thing, you know. But yeah. Um, oh, I could go more into the false esotericness, Satanness crap that has been spread around and how it seems passive and progresses. But I think some of you actually know that because you're not stupid, you know. I know you're not. Nobody's actually stupid. There's a lot of people that have great minds. It's just that they waste them on such garbage, you know. So, take for instance, I know a woman that has two small children, and mostly all she's worried about is when she's gonna get laid, you know. Well, when you're young, yeah, you have desires, but it's self control. You know, it's oh yeah, it's self control. I pride myself in that. I really do. Um, Let me light a cigarette. Morally, ethically, I'm sound. That's I'm proud of that. And I know they say, well, pride is a sin. Is it? If God gives you that and you do, it's like a parent saying they can't be proud or telling the kid not to be proud. That's part of this language that is baloney. I mean, you don't boastful, conceited, and stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like them. Well, I'll probably go offending somebody. Here I go. Like them jocks in school, like the football player or something. Um, Thinks their crap don't stink, that type of person that I just cannot deal with. Oh, I'll tell you a story. There was in my, let's see, eighth grade. Let me think here a minute. Yep, eighth grade. There was this pretty good sized football player that was picking on a little girl. He wanted something from her and she wasn't giving it, you know. So I walked up and got in his face and uh, got after that. He had it like out for me, but there was this one guy, long haired guy, a friend of mine, um, had a small motorcycle, but he had him. His name was Marty Nedeberg. He was, geez, was he a senior? Okay, I was in ninth grade because he was a senior. He was gonna graduate. So yeah, anyway, but he gave me a ride home on his bike on his way home, so I didn't have to take the school bus. That was great. Loved it. But anyway, so this guy was gonna pick on me, and I could have fought him, and I would have hurt him. But Marty got up in his face, so yeah, that was great. They thought, well, here's this kind of not real buff, but just this long hair, and you know, they thought they were so strong and so bad. And when he started screaming at these guys, and it was like totally out of Marty's nature. He was like he milked cows. He'd go to school, you know. Um, he was badass. He had a little horse named Bullet. That horse was so fast. I used to, well, my horse was faster, but Bullet was fast. But yeah, so it took some guts to ride our horses, the horses we had. So I knew that them boys would be in trouble if he let loose on them. And he didn't hit them. He was screaming at him, and he kind of put his arm up against the locker and had him just kind of pinned, you know, and was screaming in his face. And I'm like, whoa, that was so cool. I was telling him on the way home, that was so cool, you know. He got sick of watching the girls being picked on by these jocks, you know. So I always had a thing. I even did cheerleading, but I have a thing about people playing sports that really think they're just it. Because I even played football. That's another time they tried to have it out for me. Um, I used to. It wasn't touch. It was tackle. And one time everybody jumped me really bad just on purpose, but that's another story. But because I would dive at their ankles and wrap myself around them, and they'd hit the ground really hard, and then I'd get up like there you go. That's how you do that. But I had already taken judo in my life, so like when I applied somebody's body weight against them, like a keto, just using their movement, it was like wicked. They didn't expect it, is what was happening. I wanted to be back in them days. We had a football player, a quarterback named Fran Tarkington. He was so good. And I could kind of throw a ball, but not really, really great. And I could catch it, but sometimes that would scare me. But to tackle somebody, no problem. Like playing a tight end or something, you know. But no, I really wanted to be a quarterback. I would have practiced with my arm, but I played softball. I was a pitcher in Little League softball in Minneapolis, and we were the best girls softball team in the city, which was a big deal because there was a lot of them, you know. So yeah, a lot of sports, ice skating, skiing, everything, you know. So yeah. Last year I thought about getting some skates so I can go down and shovel my pond. I won't have to go anywhere. But still wasn't feeling the greatest, so I'll see how this winter goes. Perhaps. Maybe. Doug's ankles are kind of weak, otherwise I'd get him out there. I tried to get him roller skating, but no. I did get him to use my snowboard one time down the hill. And he made it all the way to the bottom, but I know what it's like. It's like it takes a lot of guts, you know, skiing and snowboarding. I got it goofy footed, like one foot in back of the other like that. So you have more control being goofy footed. a verse from both sideways. Well, I don't know. Some people, I tried it sideways. It just wasn't my thing. The goofy footed, you can put more weight on your back foot and have more control like a rudder with it like that. So, yeah. Maybe I'll pull it out tomorrow. I got to dust it off. It's getting almost snow time. So, yeah. Show you guys it. I love it. It looks like the skies have been looking lately blood red with flames, you know. So, yeah. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, I went up and put a couple boards up in the chicken's coop today and spent some time with my horse and my chicken out there. It was raining, so I brought them some stuff to eat in they had this morning they had some left, well, almost a whole box of Cheerios because I just didn't want them. I'm allergic to them anyway, and Doug doesn't like them, so I had one bowl and that was it. So then I took them out some hay, and well, Dusty's got her hay, but I took them out to put in the house some and some grain. So they had cracked corn and chicken feed. So, yeah. So they had a good day. They were happy I came up to visit, you know. So it's funny the things any animal will do when they're know their owners are watching them, you know. They're just like silly little things, you know. I made a statement that I don't like all kids and all dogs. Well, it's not that I don't love, it's just like a dog. You can't expect a dog to be any better than its master. So some dogs bug me. So that's just the way it is. And some breeds of dogs bug me super more than others. And I've had hundreds of dogs. So, yeah. Yeah. And wolves. I've had some wolves. So I had just about every kind of dog you could imagine. So, yeah, little ones, big ones, all kinds of ones, really big ones. That Newfoundland Great Dane I had, Buddy, he was blind when we got him from a shelter. We adopted him because nobody wanted him. He was that damn big. He was big. He pulled me across the yard one time. He saw a rabbit and he took off, and I went just flying across the yard at the end of his leash. It's like, dang. Yeah, had to make sure that I wasn't caught unaware. you know. So one time he saw a deer and he tried that crap, but I had him on a shorter leash, so I snagged him in. So he wasn't totally blind, but he was, he getting in his older age, and so we had him about 10 years, I think. Yeah, he was probably about 6, I think, when we got him, somewhere in there. They said he was like 2, but I told Doug I know they're lying, but he goes, look at him. I went there to get like a beagle or a Jack Russell is what I really wanted. It was or like one of the long-haired terriers, like a wired-haired terrier, only the soft one. So that's what I was kind of looking for. But then Doug's like looking at me, and he was standing there on a cattle panel with his paws on over it, and he's bigger than any man. And I'm like, and he's going, looking at me. I'm like, no way, don't do this to me. I went to walk away, and he goes to lay on this mound where he didn't really have a doghouse. That's what bugged me too. There wasn't nothing big enough for him to actually lay down in and be comfortable. So I got him, and we got the giantest doghouse we could get, and then took a camper topper and built it up and put the doghouse inside for him so he would finally be warm in his life. So, yeah. Go to extremes for animals. And he was such a good boy. I taught him how to keep my sons, like the one, out of the kitchen. And then I had him tackle him and bite his butt. And I go, get his butt, get his legs. Don't let that man up, you know, stuff like that. So I might be getting another big dog in my life. But it was funny because then he'd kind of tickle him. He'd keep him down, knock him down, keep him down, and get him wherever I said, get his leg, get it, blah, 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 blah. And back and forth, just funnier than heck. The kid be laughing. Well, he's a man by then. So I trained him with my son Luke. So yeah, Lucas. So yeah, he was good. He goes, Mom, don't do that anymore. I'm like, it's really getting good, isn't it? That was funny. Out in the yard one time, and then Luke would go to come in the kitchen. I'm like, buddy. He'd come up, and I'd go, keep that man out of my kitchen. Back, forth, would not let him step foot in there. That was so funny. What a good boy. But then my little tiny cat would chase him under the table, and he could not deal with her. And she just hated him because I loved him. But now she loves my little dog, so I don't know. But I let him in, but he even had stress problems being in here with Bathsheba, so he enjoyed his life outside more, actually. And the squirrels would come down and eat out of his dish, and the birds, and he'd just lay there. He knew they were there. He could hear them, you know. And he was just a really good boy like that. So, yeah. Oh, anyway. Oh, let's see what. Oh, my Irish setter really was the one I was the most proud of. I'll show you pictures, a couple pictures. Someday I'll dig them out. I had them out about a week ago, and I looked, and it's like, dang, that was the biggest setter I ever saw. I let him have puppies one time. Lady with a Irish setter named Grandy, we bred Dandy to Grandy, and we even came out with some black setters, like a Gordon setter. So, and white, and the other ones were red out of 13. So, 10 of them were red, and 3 of them were, 2 were white, 1 was black. So, yeah, that was really cool. So, Dandy and Grandy had puppies. And he was registered Dandy McBarker. He was just so pretty, unbelievably so. And yeah, long story how uh, yeah, I had him for 9 years, but yeah, he went through hell in his life. So at the same time I was. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, my youngest son called and talked to Doug yesterday, and I guess his father was put in rehab and might be dying. Well, I knew if you just keep partying your life away, you're gonna wreck everything on you. You know, you got to give it a break. You know, and I knew some people just won't. You know, I've gone like 10 years with nothing. You know, like not even a drink or nothing to smoke or nothing. Depending on, like, if I was when I was dealing at the casino, I absolutely could not do anything. You cannot be a dealer and be inebriated in any way. Just won't work. You know, you got to be too sharp. You know, I've had a lot of jobs where you had to be on top of your game or you wouldn't be there, you know. So if I take time to have like a drink on Christmas or whatever, and I haven't for years, I'm thinking about 3 years ago maybe. But yeah, that's about it. And even still, when I did drink, I mean, I had a couple big parties where I partied way too much. But that was rare for me. I was usually always in control of my faculties, unless, like, there was a time I got roofied, and luckily I was able to hide from this creep. And that was one time I was praying because I heard him go by, and I was thinking, I can't even move, so what the hell am I going to do? And you don't just have a couple drinks and go out of your mind when you're, a young, healthy adult, you know. So, anyway, I figured out what happened to me. I had that happen more than once. I had some women, jealous women, that were going to give me like 200 downers, red ones. That would have killed me. But a guy stopped him, you know. Ended up punching this chick, and that destroyed our friendship, because I'm not going to tolerate that. So it was a pretty bad night, all in all. Yeah, he was a non-vet. He was like whacked anyway. But yeah, that's what happened. That's what war does. You can't actually do things in your life that are against human nature and think that you're going to survive it unscathed. So, yeah. But anyway, I do wish my kid's dad the best. I was going to say sort of. But no, I do. I really do. You know, Mostly I wish him to have God in his heart so he can be good for his kids, my two sons. So. And I have a stepdaughter named Christine. Louise. Louise. I think she took her. Yes, she did take her name back. Her husband died. So, like the first year they were married. And this was about, we lost son in law about, gosh, 8 years ago. Something like that. Yeah. So that was bad for her. Yeah, people go through a lot. It's amazing how resilient we are. That's another thing I was thinking about was the armor of God, how just keeping a upbeat moral attitude keeps you close with them. That is your armor. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I know I'm going to. I baked a loaf of bread. I'm going to show it to you. We'll see how many people go crazy here. Just a sec. If I don't turn you off, if I do, I'll say peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. But I think you can see it. Doesn't that look yummy? Yum. I think I'm going to have chicken noodle soup and fresh baked bread. Yeah. One time I was in a group home when I was, let's see, 15. And, this one, oh no, it wasn't the group home. It was foster care. Before I got emancipated from the state. But anyway, this woman made fresh bread almost every day. This is just frozen. But we'd have chicken noodle soup, and that was a cheap way to feed kids. And it was, but that's okay. She made the best bread in the world. I make homemade bread too, but this is frozen bread dough. But it was really cold out today, so I figured, well, I'll warm up the house with some bread and have some soup, and that'll warm us up from the inside out. So I did live through eating some fish last night, so as you can see. Hi. So yeah. So if anybody wants to hear a good song, it's on my playlist. Jumper, Third Eye Blind. It's how I'm feeling about somebody that I really wanted to be a friend to, that actually is a very kind individual, that's in trouble. So, yeah, that's sad, really sad on my heart, you know, when you care about people and you can't do anything to help them. Because it's not that I don't think he is listening to me anymore, because I did say some mean things about the Satanist. Well, I said Satanist, not Kabbalist, but yes, you know, there's the Cabal and the Kabbalah. These are two things that we have to consider too. So, yeah. Oh, I'm going to tomorrow come back and talk about the division of Christ within man and why, because God didn't want to be alone. So I'm going to explain that to everybody from what I know to be true. So, and when you talk about the Cabal and the Kabbalist and the Satanists, like I said, that's who trained me. And the woman was Eastern Star, worthy matron, you know. Supposedly some of the greatest esoteric knowledge on the planet, you know. So, um, and I know to what is in my heart to be true, what God told me to battle and how to battle it, and they knew it too. So, what can I say? What more can I say? I hope people share this. I hope they listen to me. Um, I hope my friend sees this and considers, or friends, you know. Oh, well, everybody, I love you very much. I'm going to kick back and smoke a little bit and chill. So, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I got a little mushy there, but it's a very serious subject. So, later, everybody.